What makes a country a country? It's a question that might seem simple on the surface, but like an iceberg, there's a lot more beneath that initial inquiry. So let's take a plunge into the fascinating world of political geography, shall we? First off, let's define a country. A country, in the simplest terms, is a distinct territorial body or entity. It's an identifiable piece of the global jigsaw puzzle, each one unique and distinct, yet part of a greater whole. Yet it's more than just a piece of land on a map. A country is also a collective of people living within defined borders, each one contributing to the rich tapestry of their nation's culture, economy, and society. But a plot of land and a group of people alone do not make a country. There are certain characteristics that define a country. Let's delve into them, shall we? Sovereignty is a crucial one. It means a country has supreme power or authority over its affairs, both domestic and international. It's not under the rule of another country, but rather it's the master of its own destiny. Then there's defined territory. A country must have clearly established boundaries. These territorial lines can be the result of natural features like rivers or mountains, or they might be drawn up in treaties or agreements. A country also needs a permanent population. These are the people who call the country home, the ones who live, work, and play within its borders, contributing to its growth and development. Lastly, a functioning government is essential. This is the body that enacts laws, implements policies, and ensures the smooth running of the country. It's the driving force that works to improve the lives of its citizens and uphold the country's sovereignty. So, a country is a sovereign entity with a defined territory, a permanent population, and a functioning government. These are the skeletal structure that gives form to a country. But remember, countries, like people, are complex and diverse, each with its own unique identity and story. Now that we have a basic understanding of what a country is, how does it become official? Becoming an official country is not as simple as declaring independence. It's a process that requires a great deal of planning, negotiation, and yes, a little bit of luck. Firstly, a territory needs to have a defined boundary. It must have a permanent population and a functioning government. These are the basic requirements, but even with these in place, a territory doesn't automatically become a country. Now, let's delve into the concept of international recognition. Imagine being at a party where no one acknowledges your presence. It's a similar situation for a budding country. It needs to be recognized by other countries and international bodies. The more countries that recognize the new entity, the greater its chances of being accepted into the global community. Among the most influential bodies is the United Nations. If a territory can secure a majority vote in the UN General Assembly, it can be admitted as a new member, thus becoming an official country. But before any of this happens, the aspiring country needs to draft a constitution. This document will lay out its laws, rights, and responsibilities. It's like the country's blueprint, providing a framework for how the government will operate. The role of international law is also significant. It sets out rules that countries must adhere to in order to maintain peace and order. The aspiring country must show it can abide by these laws, demonstrating that it's a responsible and respectful player on the world stage. This process is not always linear or predictable. It's often fraught with challenges, from political hurdles to socio-economic issues. Yet it's a journey that many territories undertake, driven by the desire for self-determination, autonomy, and recognition. But what happens when a country does all of this, yet is still not recognized? That's a question we'll tackle in our next segment. There exist places which have all the characteristics of a country, yet lack the seal of global recognition. These are the unrecognized countries of the world, areas that function like a nation but do not enjoy the official status of a country. Unrecognized countries are often steeped in political complexities and controversies. Prime example is Taiwan, a thriving island at the heart of the Asia-Pacific region. Despite its robust economy and democratic governance, Taiwan is not a United Nations member state. This is largely due to the One China policy, which views Taiwan as a part of China rather than an independent country. Similarly, Kosovo in Southeast Europe, despite declaring independence from Serbia in 2008, is not universally recognized as a sovereign state. Russia and China, among others, refused to acknowledge Kosovo's independence, citing concerns over territorial integrity and sovereignty. These examples illuminate a crucial point. Recognition isn't just about fulfilling the criteria of being a country, it's also about navigating the intricate labyrinth of international politics and diplomacy. It's about gaining acceptance from the global community, which often requires more than just ticking the boxes. Unrecognized countries exist in a state of limbo, functioning as nations without the benefits and protections that come with official recognition. They serve as a stark reminder of the political nature of what we consider to be a country and the power dynamics at play in the international arena. Recognition, it seems, is more than a matter of ticking boxes. So we've traversed the landscape of what makes a country, but what have we learned? In the vast tapestry of our global community, a country is not merely a patch of land with borders. It's a complex entity, defined by four key characteristics: a defined territory, a permanent population, a government, and the capacity to enter into relations with other states. It's this unique combination that gives a country its identity, its sense of self, and its place in the world. However, becoming an official country isn't as straightforward as checking these boxes. It's a winding path, fraught with political, economic, and social hurdles. It requires a delicate dance of diplomacy, negotiation, and sometimes struggle. It's about gaining recognition from other countries and international organizations like the United Nations. In essence, it's a journey towards earning a seat at the global table. Yet there are those who dance this delicate dance, meet the criteria, and still find themselves in the shadows unrecognized. These entities, these unrecognized countries, exist in a sort of geopolitical limbo, acknowledged by some, ignored by others. Their stories serve as poignant reminders of the complex intricacies of international relations and the power dynamics that shape our world. Next time you look at a world map, remember there's more to a country than just a name.